Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rory McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. The Catholic bishops of the United States will convene a virtual meeting next week to vote on whether to prepare a draft document on the Eucharist in spite of the request of some prelates to delay the discussion. During the spring meeting of the bishops from June the 16th to June the 18th, they will decide by vote whether to draft a teaching document explaining the meaning of the Eucharist in the life of the Church. Head of the episcopal body, Archbishop Jose Gomez of Los Angeles, said the proposal for the document came from the Doctrine Committee. Archbishop Gomez also referred to a May the 7th letter from the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, urging serene dialogue among bishops on the matter of communion for pro-abortion politicians. With curbs on travel in Spain and many parts of Europe being lifted, the ancient pilgrim routes to the Spanish shrine of Santiago de Compostela, housing the relics of St. James the Apostle, are once again witnessing a rising number of pilgrims undertaking the long trek. Tradition says the remains of St. James were entombed in Compostela, and for centuries pilgrims have taken various routes across Europe, known as El Camino de Santiago, to trek to the basilica dedicated to the saint. Compared to 340,000 pilgrims who trekked to the shrine in 2019, only 50,000 took the Pilgrim's Trail last year, when Spain blocked both domestic and foreign travel. The number of pilgrims is expected to rise as Pope Francis has extended the 2021 Jubilee Year of St. James to 2022. Seeking the sanctification of priests, the 12th annual Global Rosary Relay will be held on June the 11th, the feast of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Organised by the World Priest Apostolate, the Rosary Relay began with 24 single prayer locations in 2003 and had 2,600 in 2020, with yet more expected this year. At a particular allotted time, each prayer location prays a mystery of the Rosary in thanksgiving for the gift of priests, as well as imploring the protection of the Blessed Mother on all priests, so that they persevere in unity with Christ and lead the flock. Believers have been invited to take part in this prayer initiative organised under the auspices of Archbishop Michael Neary of Tuam in Ireland, who is the Episcopal Advisor to World Priest. The Diocese of Portsmouth in England has announced a Year of the Eucharist that will run until Christmas next year. The announcement was made by Bishop Philip Egan on June the 6th at his Corpus Christi Sunday. The prelate said he hoped the special year will bring about a deep spiritual renewal and a love for Jesus in the Eucharist, as well as for Christ present in the poor. The bishop also said the special year will strengthen the diocese and equip everyone for more effective mission and service. A number of shrines have also been earmarked across the diocese where believers can go on pilgrimage, and they include the Sacred Heart Church in Bournemouth. Bishop Egan also exhorted believers to observe the feast days with solemnity and also to pray for the unborn and the suffering people of Myanmar. The Catholic bishops of Arizona have expressed grave concern over possibilities of the state resuming the death penalty this autumn, including executions using the gas chamber. A report in the Guardian newspaper says the state has refurbished its gas chambers, with the chambers being considered as an option as a result of the shortage of lethal injection drugs. The report says the State Department of Corrections is procuring chemicals needed to generate hydrogen cyanide gas, which was also used by the Nazis. Arizona's Catholic Conference spokesperson on Monday said they believe the death penalty contributes to a culture of death, and the Church is opposed to it. So far, the state has executed 37 people since 1976, and there are now 119 people on death row. A UN report has cast a light on the vulnerability of women and children among the displaced masses in the province of Cabo Delgado in northern Mozambique, which is suffering from an Islamist insurgency. The report by the UN High Commissioner for Refugees says that around 700,000 people have been displaced because of attacks by armed groups. Although the refugees are housed in camps by local and international aid groups, there is an increased risk of young girls being forced into early marriages. According to the Diocese of Pemba, terrorist organisations have kidnapped hundreds of teenagers. While boys are forced to join the jihadi ranks, girls are married to the insurgents and are even made to work as slaves. More than 30 Portuguese civil society organisations, including Catholic outfits, are active in providing help to the displaced people. The Diocese of Wichita organised the 13th annual Father Emil Capon pilgrimage, which is marked by a 60-mile walk remembering the heroic US Army chaplain and servant of God who died during the Korean War. The 4-day walk from the Church of the Magdalene in the northeastern part of the diocese concluded at the home parish of the priest in Marion, Kansas on Sunday. This year's pilgrimage has a special significance as the mortal remains of Father Emil were identified earlier this year, and they will soon be placed in the crypt of the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. Known for his compassion and dedication during the war, Father Emil died in a prison camp in Korea in 1951. He was posthumously given the Medal of Honor, and in 1993 he was declared a servant of God. A Polish pro-life organisation has started a campaign highlighting the dignity of life, especially the preborn who are diagnosed with medical conditions. The Foundation ProLife Group's campaign, entitled Every Life is a Miracle, presents stories of more than 80 children diagnosed with disabilities who risked being killed before birth and yet are alive. Speaking during the launch of the campaign, founder of the organisation Magdalena Korzekwa-Kalishuk said the campaign intends to show the meaning of every human life. The campaign comes after a nationwide pro-life debate following the Polish Constitutional Court ruling that abortion based on fetal anomalies is unconstitutional. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us once again tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.